If the unseen feels more at home to you than the seen, then this space is for you. Here on Illuminate Your Truth, the spirit world is valid. I'm your host, Elena Isis. Let's dive on in. Hello and welcome. We're really grateful for life today. Really grateful to be in this body, to have this body. Really grateful for my health, my family, and unconditional love. Yeah, that's where I'm at today. That's where I'm at today. It is the end of February. Oh my goodness. Where did February go? Can somebody tell me? I have no idea. Felt really short. Now we're heading into March, and I'm really thrilled about that. I really love spring, and I definitely love summer. So, really excited about spring and what March is going to bring for me. Really interested and excited about that. So, for today's episode, we're going to be talking about social media and spirituality. And we're going to be talking about the good, the bad, the ugly. We're going to be talking about the positives and the negatives regarding social media and spirituality. But first, before we get into that topic, I want to talk a little bit about. So I'm going to do a little bit of my life updates for you guys. So, one life update. I've been really um, stepping back from a lot of work, like a lot of like hustle mentality, productivity. And I've really just been flowing. I've really just been really doing inspired action. Of course, I do have responsibilities that I take care of. But other than that, I'm really not going out of my way to really push as far as working um, and career is involved. And I feel like right now, like I'm really focused on my family. And I'm calling this like my mom era, because I'm really starting to want to connect deeper with my children and my husband as well. But definitely my children. I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. I'm mostly a stay at home mom, like, you know, 5 days of the week. And, I have 2 days where I have the day to myself, which I'm so grateful for. I do whatever I want. I work, I don't work, I do self care, I hang out with friends, I do whatever I want. And I'm grateful for those days. But for most of the time, I'm with my kids. And so, like, I set this goal of like leaving the house every day with my children. You'd be surprised how hard it is to do whenever you have kids and you're with them all the time and they're little. You want to just stay at home because it's safe and you're in your four walls. But then it gets boring, and then you're like, let's challenge ourselves here. Like, let's get out into the world. Let's be active. And it just really does wonders for my mental health. And I know my kids' mental health when they get to go out and explore. And so I've just really been taking that seriously. And um, yeah, like I've just really been taking that seriously. And so I've been going out with my kids and we've been going places, and it's really just a breath of fresh air. It really breaks up the day. So I'm really proud of myself. That's what I'm doing. I am hanging out with my kids. Life update. So now let's move on to my obsessions for this week. So I've literally been obsessed with avocado toast. And let me tell you, I really don't like avocados. Okay, I'm going to be real. Like, I don't like the taste of them. I think that they're gross. But I finally, Spirit has led me to a recipe, and I found a recipe and it involves lemon. Well, apparently the lemon makes avocado taste really good. And so I've been mixing lemon, avocado, crushed red pepper flakes, and eggs. I This morning I did a fried egg. Oh my God, so good on toast. Gives me so much energy, and I actually feel really fulfilled when I eat it. So that's my one obsession. If you are looking for a breakfast that's going to actually feed your soul, yes. Avocado toast with lemon juice, crushed red pepper flakes, and you can either do a hard boiled egg or a fried egg. So good. My second obsession is I've been cooking a lot more, and so like I really enjoy cooking for my friends. I've been like inviting them over and like making them lunch or dinner and dessert and just having like real conversations with them. And I'm really loving it. And I'm really just like, it's bringing back that love of cooking and being together with friends and just sharing, what's going on in our lives, which I really, really love. My third and last obsession for this episode are baths. Now, it's Pisces season, and anytime it's Pisces season, I'm always in the water. Like, I have to be in the water. And so I've just been taking salt baths more regularly, and I've been putting a lot of rose oil in it. Rose has a really high vibration. I really feel like it clears my energy, but it also infuses passion and love into my inner being, which is something I really am trying to open up to a little bit more. And so I've really enjoyed taking baths. They're really good at clearing my energy, grounding me, and allowing me a space to go within and to just like feel relaxed and calm and like a queen. So definitely enjoying baths. All right, so my positive affirmation for today is my space and boundaries are important. My space and boundaries are important. So if that resonates, feel free to write that down and say that multiple times throughout the day and just allow that affirmation to become a part of your belief system if that is something that you are working on. Boundaries. I have a lot of things to say about boundaries. Maybe that will be a whole nother episode, but I really feel like this season it's really important for us to learn what our boundaries are, what we need to, how we need to put boundaries in place with certain people, places, things, and go from there. All right. Okay, so for today's show topic, we're going to be talking about social media. Okay, we're going to be talking about social media and spirituality. The good, the bad, the ugly. Of course, I want to start with the positives. So we're going to just dive on in. All right, so what are the positives about social media? Okay, well, the positives about social media is like it's free and it's a platform where you can choose the kind of content you want to create that you want to share with the world. Essentially, this content is going to vibe with your tribe. So the more authentic you are, the more of your tribe you're going to call towards yourself. So, in a sense, it's like a free form of advertising for yourself. You can create whole businesses from it. And it's just a really cool way to share the things that you've learned along the way, your little bits of wisdom with the world, and help heal the world, share your knowledge with the world. And it's just so good. It's so good. Good for that. You can learn different types of um, occult knowledge. You can learn so many things about spirituality from different influencers or spiritual teachers that are on social media. And you can incorporate those little tips and tidbits and things, videos that they guided meditations. You can utilize those in your spiritual practice and then, in turn, healing yourself. So those are a lot of like the positive things about social media is like, yes, and spirituality. it can really help you skyrocket your spiritual practice. And because you're learning from lots of different people, and they're just sharing their experiences of what have helped them, along their path, along their journey. So, that's very, very good. So, obviously, with the positive comes a few negative things regarding social media and spirituality. You have the ever present disinformation that's going to pop up, okay? Like, not everybody on the internet knows what they're talking about, and not everybody on the internet is spitting out truths. And so, you really have to use your discernment whenever we'll talk a little bit more about that. You really have to use your discernment whenever you are listening to an influencer or a spiritual teacher or a healer. You really have to use your discernment. There are false teachers and energy vampires out there. I actually have a YouTube video about this certain topic. I'm going to go into it though in this episode because I feel like it's really necessary. I feel like I can't touch on this without going into it, but I do have a YouTube episode dedicated to this topic called Not All Spiritual Teachers Are Good to Work With. Also, I have another, it's like a part two to that, which is using discernment along the spiritual journey. But let's just talk about using your discernment throughout your spiritual journey. Discernment is going to be your number one best friend as far as navigating the spiritual world. Okay, and navigating who you want to work with, what guides you want to work with, what teachers, what healers you want to work with, and only you are going to be able to know what is best for you. Nobody else can tell you that. I mean, they can, but that doesn't mean that it's really going to be right for you. So let's let's state a very powerful truth that I have experienced multiple times. Okay, so not all spiritual teachers or healers have your best interests at heart. Okay, now there are some spiritual teachers and spiritual healers out there who are actually parading themselves around as those things, as spiritual teachers, spiritual healers, but really they are sending out parasitic entities, attachments to their clients, to their students, as a way to harness their life force for themselves. You can actually pick up these parasites from many different types of content. Okay, you don't. Okay, so like this is crazy, right? Like you don't even have to be like you don't even have to be face to face with this teacher to pick up one of these kind of entities or attachments or parasites. No, you don't. You don't have to be face to face. So you can pick up these entities, attachments, parasites from if a influencer or if a spiritual teacher puts out a guided meditation. Now, let me give you an example. Yes, a guided meditation. I actually experienced this. I went on YouTube searching for a womb awakening meditation. Of course, I know how to do that. I actually have a womb awakening meditation on my YouTube channel as well. But, sometimes I just like to try new things and see what other people are doing and see if it helps heal me. And so I looked, I found one, and I did it. Now, during the middle of it, it was kind of weird because I kind of felt like she kept leaving me hanging. Like I had to check a couple of times to see if the meditation was still on, but she really just wasn't talking anymore. And that was kind of weird. I felt like I wasn't being guided, and that I felt, yeah, like I felt like she left me hanging. And then near the middle of it, I felt something enter me. Now, if you are sensitive to energy, you'll understand this feeling. I am also a womb priestess, sex priestess. So, a lot of whenever I transmute dark energy, I'm either transmuting it with my heart or my womb. And my yoni is an entrance to my womb. And so, whenever parasites, like, well, obviously it was focused towards the womb because it was a womb healing meditation, but a lot of times, if you are a priestess, a lot of times entities or attachments will enter you through your yoni and get to your womb because that's our portal. That's like most of our energy is in that space. And so I've I've actually experienced that where during a guided meditation a parasite was sent out, or an entity, it was more of an entity, and it was sent out and entered my body, my physical body. And after the meditation I felt really weird. I had to do a scan, and when I scanned I found said entity. I removed it, and took that as a huge lesson. At that point, I didn't even know that that was possible as far as like entities entering you during a guided meditation. I actually had a few parasites enter me through a sound healing journey that was in person. Um, that actually happened too. And so there's different ways where you can pick up these entities or parasites. And so using your discernment is so freaking important. So not all spiritual teachers are good. And then you're like, how do I know? You really, okay, how do you know? Okay, use your discernment. How do you feel? How does this person make you feel? How does this person make you feel in your body? Like, what does your body feel? Like, are you tingly somewhere? Like, when you think of this person, like, what does your body feel? Like, you really have to judge by the feeling because you're reading the subtle energy. Like, no one's going to come out and be like, this person is bad, unless a lot of people have caught on to they're sending out parasites. But unfortunately, not a lot of people know or can even tell. It takes someone extremely sensitive to be like, hey, like, this spiritual teacher is like sending out garbage and siphoning your energy. Now, do I know that these spiritual teachers or healers are doing this intentionally? I don't. Maybe some of them are not, but some of them are doing it intentionally. And I feel like as a spiritual teacher, um, you know, as a spiritual teacher, you really just you trust, like, I'm a teacher, so like I always want to trust that people are good. But ultimately, you really have to understand that there's duality in the world. And so there are going to be teachers who really don't care, who really do want to hurt you or take from you. It's really it's really a place where you have to just trust yourself, and you have to learn what is good for you and what is not good for you. And you really have to be mindful of how you feel after you digest someone's content. Are you energized? Are you happy? Do you feel good? You know, do you feel something new in your body? I really like doing a body scan after I watch someone's content. If I do feel something was kind of off, so those are some things that you can do to, be able to at least start to tell if this teacher healer is good for you, or influencer on social media. But you still just have to be really careful, but also follow what resonates for you as well, because that is your pull, that's your inspired action. And always follow people who seem authentic to you. The more authentic, the more truth I feel um, comes out of that person. But there's lots of things that you can do in order to tell, if this person is good or bad for you. So, like I said, there are definitely some positives with social media for spirituality, and definitely some negatives uh, for social media and spirituality. But if you use your discernment, you will definitely be able to use social media as a way to grow, either if you are the creator or if you're the one taking in the information. You just have to, come with, a little bit of skepticism, maybe, I don't think being a skeptic is wrong. I feel like a little bit of skepticism is healthy. I feel like we should all ask why, or, ask questions. And if somebody tells you not to ask questions, that's definitely a no. One more thing that you can do if you don't know whether this teacher, healer, influencer is good for you, I would suggest talking to your spirit guides about it. If you're going to go to anyone, maybe talk to them and see if what they say about it. If I ever have an issue, I either go to my ancestors or Jesus, or Divine Goddess Mother Isis, and they are always really upfront with me about any kind of opinion, So that's also another way that you can do that. Now, if you are an influencer and you are creating content, I say kudos to you. The world needs what you're putting out. Please continue to share. Continue to share your authentic self, because that is like the most important part, sharing your authentic self with the world. We all want to see who you truly are. Okay, we want to see you shine. And the more you shine, the more lives you are going to be able to touch. And the more people you're going to be able to draw towards you, the more magnetic you're going to become. And that is just so good. And it's really just going to help skyrocket you on this crazy spiritual journey that we find ourselves in this crazy time on earth. You're all here for a reason. We're all here for a reason. Like, yeah, the times are crazy. Duality and this spiritual war is like completely and utterly intense. But you're here for a reason. And once we accept that reason and start to dig and learn our role in it, I really think that we can start to come into our gifts and share those gifts with the world a little bit more openly. So if social media is something that you wish to do, I say do it. I think it's a great platform for you to share your gifts with the world. Just use your discernment and trust yourself. Trust that you know what's best for you. Wow, thank you so much for joining me on this episode. I really, really loved talking about this topic. I am always wanting to let people know about things that happen that aren't talked about a lot, and so I'm really happy that I got to share my two experiences with you all. So thank you. All right. All right. Be sure to subscribe to my show, Illuminate Your Truth. And if you would like to rate my show or leave me a review, feel free to do so. I really appreciate all these things. They just help me on this journey of growth and self-discovery. Grateful for every single one of you for tuning in. And I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day. All right. Bye for now.